Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you're all having a great Sunday. Right, we are going to look at the trade recaps of some of the trades that we looked at in the last couple of days, but specifically with a focus on Bitcoin. There's been a lot of talk on Bitcoin, and you've seen how we've traded and analyzed Bitcoin from right at the top, coming all the way down there. But we'll talk about that in a bit. Firstly, if you are watching the video for the first time, make note there are timestamps on the video. If you go to the description of all the videos, you'll find timestamps. Mike is in attendance today. He's the one who's doing this for me. Thank you, Mike, for all the wonderful work. It helps a lot. So you'll find that each and every pair that we're going to look at today is timestamped there. You can just click on the Show More tab. Let's just go to the Show More tab. If you click on the Show More tab, you will find all those timestamps. They will be available a couple of hours after the video has been uploaded, because that needs to be edited first and put in manually. All right, so if you click on there, you will find those timestamps. You will also find my contact details, my email address, my mobile number that you can use via Telegram or WhatsApp. There's also a Telegram channel which I use to post the live webinar links for these videos. So if you'd like to attend live, the live webinar links are posted there. And you can also follow me on TradingView on that link. So the live webinar links, you can find it on that Telegram channel, or you can also find it on my Facebook page. So that is what it looks like there. That is my Facebook. You can find it there on a weekly basis when we have these sessions. Okay, I mentioned that we are going to start with a crypto corner. We have started that in our group. I will still do that in the next couple of weeks once we have fully rolled it out in the group. So we've got specific days where we just focus on the crypto analysis only in our group. So talking about the group and the course, our next course is going to be from the 11th to the 22nd of November, as I've mentioned in the last couple of weeks, that this is the last course of the year. If you'd like to join the course, you can contact me as per those details under the description of the videos. So the course is 2 weeks. And as far as the timing of the course is concerned, the price of the course, you'll find all that detail when you send an email. It's a detailed info pack that I'll send you when you make an inquiry. Okay, so if you like to join, that is the procedure to join. The course is also fully recorded on videos. So that means the moment you join, you get all those video recordings and access to our trading room as well. So access to the trading room is for 2 years, but look out for those details when you make an inquiry. So even if you're not interested in attending the course now, you can just inquire so you can have an information. Because most of the people that join the course, they tell me that they've been watching the videos for the last couple of months, some for a couple of years, and that's good because you verify first that what we're doing is actually legit. All right, so that is what we're looking at. So now talking about our group, let's start with the trade recaps. I want to look at Bitcoin and how we looked at Bitcoin in the last couple of weeks, and that has played out inch perfect. Let's have a look at in our trade setups group channel. So if you're gonna join us, please make sure that you already have Slack downloaded to make the registration process quicker. Now let's look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, from the 16th of September, I posted this chart, and we discussed this also during these weekly videos. And I showed you exactly why I want Bitcoin to go into the blue box. And that is exactly how that has played out. Just to show quickly how this one has played out. So this was the trade. No, it's bringing me something else. So let's have a look here on the thread. Just want to look. I want us to open on the thread. Okay, so that's where it is. Hopefully it's going to work out. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so that's what we have. So this was the trade here on Bitcoin, and we're going to go through why we wanted it to drop here so you can understand. And now what you've seen with Bitcoin is that it has dropped from there, it has come into the blue box, and it is now pushed back up here. So now 1, 2 moves, have been confirmed, but that's not just the only move that has been confirmed. So from the top here, I indicated, and you will see when we start with the market analysis, I indicated that Bitcoin is going to give us this structure 1, 2, 3. Let's do it cleanly. I said it was going to give you 1, 2, 3 that you can see already labeled, and it was going to have a pullback here. That is another 3-wave pullback, and it's going to give you this move to the downside. So it's going to give you 1 down, it's going to give you 1 back. Now you'll see where this is coming from, and I said if this happens here, you are then going to get this trade to the downside, which is exactly what has happened. We'll go through why this has dropped and why this pattern is so powerful. And now we've dropped here and then we've come up here. If you remember, last couple of weeks we have been here building up a corrective structure, and I saw a lot of traders, some trading wave theory, showing that this is going to continue to the downside like that. So that was mostly the expectation, and most of people who sold there would have lost money on Bitcoin, but we saw that structure way before it happened. So even knowing as it was coming down here, we knew that it was going to reverse here and it was going to push higher. Last couple of weeks, what happened? We were in this corrective structure, which we even traded the up move here on Ethereum, and Bitcoin was doing this. That's not the correct structure there. So the structure should be 1, 2, 3, like that. And I said, this is going to come. I said, go watch last week's video. Exactly how I said was going to happen. It came down into the blue box. I said it's going to come down with divergence, which you got divergence on the indicator. And there's a powerful indicator that we use. That is the one of the only indicators that does not lag price. And that is in the way that we use it. It does not lag the price, it's ahead of the price. And you combine that with the Elliott Wave theory and you've got a powerful tool to trade. So what happened? This is what happened. Came and I said it's going to break the blue box and push higher. And like magic, that is exactly what has happened with Bitcoin. So you can do yourself a favor and watch last couple of weeks videos to see why we have been looking for Bitcoin. You can start watching from when we were still here, when I was explaining why this is going to drop to the downside. And it was simply because I was looking for this 3-wave structure here. 1, 2, 3. And then this is what was the expectation. Okay, so that's how well that has played out. Now let's go into the market analysis and look at why Bitcoin has dropped. Now we're starting with the market analysis now. I'm not going to go through the trade recaps. In any way case, we don't have a lot of new setups after the big pound moves 2 weeks back and the yen pairs 2 weeks back. We don't have a lot of new trades. So let's have a look at Bitcoin, and I'm going to show you the structure. I'm going to do it a little bit quicker because we've done it before. You can see it in some of the previous videos as well. So I just want to show this pattern again, how powerful it is, so you can see where it comes from. This is the Bitcoin, and that is the pattern that we saw on Bitcoin. Let's try to put it on auto and show it on the 4-hour. I'll switch this off. So this is that pattern, and it is not an Elliott Wave pattern. The Elliott Wave pattern and the sequence is this one here. It's WXY structure. This is what you have with the Elliott Wave pattern. That is 1, 2, 3-wave structure, and then a push to the upside. That's the Elliott Wave structure. So what I'm showing you here is how I look at the patterns. And this was 1, 2, 3 to the downside. Let's do it again cleanly. I want to have space here because we're going to do this in a couple of charts. That is on the Euro chart, Euro US dollar chart, as well as this gold, silver, and gold. Now you get the 3-wave move to the downside. You get this purple down here and a pullback, and after that pullback, that's when this one should come. What happens at the end here? At the end here, you will see that you get this, what I like to call the V pattern. You will see that in all the patterns that I'm going to look at, that is the structure that you get. That is why this has pushed up higher, and I've indicated this a couple of times when I was showing you this pattern. Now, this is Bitcoin. I'm going to show you another chart now. Let's move away from Bitcoin for now. Let's go to Euro US dollar and see 3 of these patterns on Euro US dollar on different time frames. Let's have a look on the weekly. You'll see this chart. It's almost as if it's the same pair, right? But this is a euro on the weekly, because something completely different. Now let's do the same thing on Euro US dollar. You'll see 1. Let's do this again here. You'll see those 3-wave moves to the downside. 1, 2, 3. What happens? You've got a 3-wave move, pull back here. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. This is a 3-wave move back here. And after that, you get that purple down and back. This is down, this is back. Now, what happens after that? You get this move to the downside. You get this move to the downside. I need to draw it cleanly. It's a little bit skew. What happens when it comes to the end? Look what has happened. Exactly what happened with Bitcoin. It made this three-wave pullback, 1, 2, 3. What happened? It went and broke the blue box to the downside, came down with divergence, and what do you get? You get this move. This pattern should actually end with this structure here. Should actually end with this move, because that is exactly what has happened. Can you see that this is almost identical? Almost exactly identical. That's that V pattern here that has happened with divergence. Now, that is not the only place where that has happened. I'm going to move away from this time frame. I'm going to go to the 4-hour on the same pair on Euro US dollar and show you exactly the same pattern. Now, you'll see that almost 6 patterns in different pairs playing out exactly the same way. So let's have a look here at the top. Now, if you look at Euro US dollar, also again, this is now on the 4-hour time frame. This is when we got the current drop that you're seeing on Euro US dollar. And I have to show you this all the time because these patterns are prevalent and they are always going to happen. And when they do happen, you make a lot of money because they come with the big move to the downside. Now, the first 3-wave move you see to the downside on the 4-hour chart, what do you get also? You get a pullback in red again. Also here in yellow, you get this purple down and back. What happens after that? You get this drop. You get this drop. Okay, so for the sake of the scale, I'm gonna make this one the same size as this one. So you get that drop. Look what happened at the end. At the end, you also get this here. This comes and breaks to the downside and then make a move to the downside. So I'm just gonna transpose this back here so you can see that it is exactly the same thing that happens at the end of the moves. Just showing you the comparison of the patterns, and this is what it does towards the end. Okay, Bitcoin did exactly the same. Euro US dollar on the weekly chart, Euro US dollar on the 4-hour chart. Now let's go back again. I'm gonna remove the chart here again and bring it something else again. Now, let me just bring the last one on Euro US dollar. Now, this is a completely different place. You will think it is exactly the same place. It is actually not. Okay. Now, this is now the one on the 4-hour on Euro US dollar. Just to show you how prevalent these charts are. You're already seeing 3 of these exact same patterns. Now you get this one here, pull back in 3 waves. You get the purple down and back, purple down, purple back. What happens after that? You get a move to the downside in yellow. It goes all the way down like that. What happens to the bottom? You get this one here. You get this 3-wave move, pull back, 3-wave back, breaks the downside, and what does it do? Comes back in red. Identical. Now let me show you once. I'm showing you ones that have now happened. When I showed you this one, Bitcoin had not happened. So this is not in hindsight. Let me show you one that I'm expecting to now happen because that is important. And I know we are not doing Euro US, we have not done the commodities yet. That is silver and gold, but there is a prevalent pattern that is looks like it's forming here. And this is why I was saying that I'm not looking to buy silver or gold as yet because they're making this exact same pattern currently. Now, even when you had this move on silver on Friday, I was not interested in the buy as well. Still, because of that, look at this. Now, this is silver. What is it doing? It makes a 3-way move to the downside. 1. My mouse is just a little bit skew. 1, 2, 3. What is happening here? You've got a 3-wave pullback in red. I'm always going to represent that in red. What am I expecting? The reason why I was not interested in selling silver is because of this. I'm expecting a move down, I'm expecting a pullback, and I'm expecting that silver will do this. Okay, now these are my patterns. Okay, and I say mine with caution. But what is the Elliott wave structure as far as silver is concerned? It's simple because there must be a relationship with the Elliott wave structure. I trade the Elliott wave patterns, but I see these familiar patterns because patterns are very powerful. That is what Elliott saw as well. Elliott saw patterns. They saw repeating patterns in the path of the market, and he started identifying them. Now let's look at this one. Pattern means repeat. So this is repeating. When it's repeating like that, you can't ignore it. Now, as far as Elliott wave theory is concerned, you can have three-way move to the downside, which you can label as W. You can have a pullback as X, and then you can have a Y. So that is what you're expecting on silver. So what we've just done here is an analysis on silver, and what we're expecting to see on silver in the next couple of sessions. I'm expecting it to come down. Now, this is a corrective structure on silver, and I'm expecting this to come down, pull back, and then a move to the downside to complete these patterns. Okay, so gold is similar. Let me clear. Let me take this off. Now, when I take this off, you'll think it's the same pattern that you see there. You'll think it's the same chart. Let's just take this off. Can you see that is exactly the same thing? Obviously, this piece here on silver has not happened. This is what we are waiting to see happen. We are waiting to see this part happen. This is your trade. Now, this trade you may want to enter when it gives you this blue back here. Then you'll take it to the downside. Okay. Gold, you've got similar. I'm doing this now because I'm showing you the pattern on Bitcoin. Gold, similar. I'm going to put gold on the side here. Let's just go full screen here. Let's go full screen so we can have some more space. Let's do gold here on this side. Now, gold is also doing exactly the same thing, although it may be slightly different in terms of structure, but the pattern remains the same. Three-way move to the downside. It's one down, a pullback, and one down. What are we expecting with gold? I'm expecting this three-way pullback. This three-way pullback has a structure itself. Now, I'm going to show you that structure. I'm going to show you that structure, but I'll take it out because it's not just a three-way pullback. It can do this and then drop, or this corrective, because this is a corrective structure. It can do that, up and then down. So that will be your three-wave pullback. That will be the red up, that which we are waiting for. Silver is much better in terms of structure. It's a lot clearer already, and we can already see what we're expecting. So what are we expecting with gold? I'm expecting that we're gonna have that red. You're gonna have that red pullback, and you're gonna have the purple down and back, purple down and back, and you're gonna have that move to the downside. So silver and gold, those moves have not happened as yet, but expect them to complete this pattern. So what you see here is euro. It's euro. This euro on the weekly, euro on the 4 hour, euro on the 4 hour. What you see here is Bitcoin. Here is silver. XAG, it's called XAG, and here is XAU, that is gold. All of these patterns exactly identical. How many of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are these not patterns that are repeating in the market? Is there no relationship with the Elliott wave structure when you look at this? There is, and all the answers as a resounding yes, and you can actually trade this like this. So let's have a look now on the cryptos. What do you expect in the crypto, in the rest of the crypto pairs? So that should be your trades in the next couple of sessions. I hope you catch those, and let's see that they play out like that, as Bitcoin has already done so. Now, what are we expecting with Bitcoin now? We have got a pulsing move now, as we have been expecting. So that pulsing move is this here. It has made a pullback after the move. It is now doing this. So now we just need to see what we're getting here. Is it going to correct? Maybe a pullback and make a three-wave structure and then continue higher. We just need to wait for it to give us a structure here. Anyway, the analysis is for this to still push to the upside. Okay, so that is Bitcoin. And next, let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum also the same. We actually took this trade here on Ethereum. There was one. The trade on Ethereum was here. It's on our trade setups. We discussed it a couple of weeks back. And we said this is also going to break the low here and make a move to the upside. That's exactly what has happened. I said it's going to come with divergence. It has done exactly that. Let's see on the RSI, you see that you've got that divergence that I was talking about. Okay. and you got this one, although it does not make a new low, it just touches the previous low. So that is still divergence, price and the indicator doing different things. Okay, so that is how we traded that, and now expect this one here to start correcting here, even if it's going to do that and make a move to the upside. So you need to wait first to see what structure you get from this. Okay, so that is how Ethereum has played out. Now that is Ethereum, and then Litecoin. Litecoin also the same. You had this structure here on Litecoin that we said was going to break to the downside, break the previous low, come up with divergence, and then make a move to the upside. Now this could have been a short squeeze for all those positions, all those short positions in the cryptocurrencies. This could be the short squeeze, and now we can start coming down here like that, because we already have an impulsive move to the downside. We need to see what corrective structure we're going to get here and see if we're going to start trading into the downside when all those weekends now would have let go of their positions. And that is how the market works. Okay, so it always going against the masses. Okay, so do not always go with the masses, because sometimes the S is silent. Okay, so that is Litecoin. And let's look at lastly Ripple. So during the crypto corner, we're going to look at just more than these 4 cryptocurrencies. We're going to look at a whole lot more, dissecting them from the smaller time frame from the higher time frame to the smaller time frame. Now, Ripple, I was looking for an impulsive move to the upside. Okay, so as I said last week, it was coming up pretty slowly. Okay, what we see now is that it has made a 3-wave pullback and a move to the upside. Can we now see this making a correction and pushing higher? That is what we are going to be waiting for, to see a corrective structure here, or this can actually do this. Number of ways this can play out, but because of this impulse, I don't really expect it to give me this 3-wave structure, 1, 2, 3, and then a push to the upside. I'm expecting that this is all the correction. This is all the correction, and we're going to get something like this. By the way, as far as the cost is concerned, you can also pay in cryptocurrency as well. All right, so that is Ripple, and this is what we are looking for on Ripple. Just show you the higher degree structure and what I've been waiting for on Ripple for the longest time. Actually playing out, but it's going out up slower than I expected it to. So this has always been the analysis for these two. When this was still up here, I wanted this to come back down here, break this low here, and then push higher. Now this move to the upside is not happening as fast as I wanted to. So that means that may not be the move that I'm looking for. It may still do this 3-wave move to the upside and then come back for one before we go up. But let's track it. For now, we'll be expecting this move. We'll be expecting this move. Okay, so that is Ripple. Now let's go into the indices. Let's look at the indices. S&P 500. Let's look at the S&P 500. All right, so the S&P 500, this is what we're looking at. We are still within this diagonal. I mentioned last week that we are still looking to get to the top of this upper boundary. We're still looking for this to make this 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now there's a bit of a trick here in terms of the degrees, so because this can continue even longer than this. So I've mentioned last week that as far as wave 5 of an impulse is concerned, the S&P 500 has already reached that. Okay, has already reached a point where we can label this as a wave 5. Now we're looking for this to push higher. Now this is the trick that I'm talking about here, or not necessarily a trick, or an alternative that could happen here. So you've got to move to the upside. Now we are saying that this is a wave 3, but wave 3 can actually be this structure. This whole thing here can actually be a wave 3. 1, 2, 3 can actually be a 3 on its own. All of that. So that is what I'm talking about. So you can have that as a wave 3, you can have that as a wave 4, and then you can have this as a wave 5. So these can go on longer. Okay, but for now we are looking at this as wave 3, And when this is complete, we will see, and this is obviously coming up with divergence. So we're going to see here making higher highs, higher highs. We should see the RSI giving us lower lows. And you can see that that has already started happening. You're getting those higher highs there. You're getting these lower lows here on the RSI. So that's telling you that as much as we see that the S&P 500 will push higher, at some point we are going to get this pullback. Okay, so this is not going to be the crash, guys. It's going to be the big correction on the indices. It's going to be a big correction. So when this happens, there's no need to panic. You just trade it as you see it structurally. The same way that we've traded this, as this was coming down here, we were not panicking because when it was coming down there, we were seeing the structure. This was the expanding flat. So we didn't panic and think the market was crashing. We just thought this was the correction in the fourth wave, and it was making an expanding flat on the S&P 500, the Dow, and the NASDAQ exactly the same. So now we're looking for this wave 5 to complete. How far will this go? Doesn't really matter. We will catch it, we will track it, and when it's complete, we will get the move to the downside. Okay, so that is the S&P 500. Let's look at the lower time frame, 4 hour, to see the next move here. Now you see here, you've made a 3-wave move. There's no correction there. This is not a correction. This is still a motive wave. And you should expect that this will make a pullback here and continue higher to the top of the boundary. So the expectation is still for this to push higher, even though we should get a pullback here. You'll see that on the RSI, there should be divergences. This is happening here. Let's see. You actually don't have divergence, so that can keep going on and on like that because there's no divergence between price and the indicator. It can keep going on and on like that until you get this pullback. When divergence starts, then you get that pullback and it will go back to the top of the boundary. So that is what you're going to expect on the S&P 500 until it gets out of the diagonal. It's not supposed to be 2 lines there, guys. It's just I drew this in different time frames on the daily, and then it appears here. Shouldn't be 2 lines. Okay, so the same way that this has happened here, it made a move to the upside here, and then the pullback happened, is exactly the same way that this will happen here. It's pushing higher, and it should give us the pullback. Even though it's not going to be all the way, we're still going to expect it to go to the top of the boundary. Here you had a higher highs, divergence there, and then it drops. Okay, so that's the expectation on the S&P 500, as well as the Dow. The Dow is also doing the same thing, but the Dow has already made that pullback. So that's why I'm saying this should push to the upside. The S&P 500 has done this, so it can just keep on doing like that. That is a motive wave. It's got direction. It's going to the upside, but the Dow is making a correction and it's going to push higher. So when that pushes higher, it should go with the S&P 500 as well. We're still within the diagonal as well on the DAX. Not the DAX, the Dow. On the Dow, we're also on the diagonal, ending diagonal in wave 5. Ending diagonal there in wave 5. So eventually this should also make a pullback to the downside. This is when everybody is going to be thinking the market is crashing. But yes, it's going to be a significant move, because if you look at this, let's see if I label this. I didn't actually label this. Let's go to the S&P 500, just one back. If you look at this and the move that is going to be expected on the S&P 500, as much as this is going up here like that, if it can do that, the move to the downside is going to be significant. Okay, it's going to be a significant move. So that's why it's going to look like the market is crashing, but it's not going to go all the way. It's not going to go all the way. At some point, you should get a pullback and continue lower like that. But also, that is not the zigzag is not the only correction you get. Remember, you can also get this. You can get to wave 5, you get this, you get this, you get this, and this starts going sideways. And this continues to the upside. So the indices may not crash just because you've got an impulsive wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. It may still continue higher. Yes, you will have this trade here, and if it's a zigzag, you will get another one here, and then it will still continue to the upside. We'll go into details of this someday when we've got time, when we just look at the S&P 500 and the indices. Okay, so that is what we're looking at on the S&P 500, the Dow and the NASDAQ. can see the NASDAQ on the weekly is the same thing. They're all just pushing higher like that. They're all just pushing higher like that. And at some point, this cannot go in a straight line. They must keep giving it this pullback. You see this one here, you see this pullback here, and these are big pullbacks because this is a weekly here. It's a lot of points to the downside. So these pullbacks are quite significant. They're quite significant because this gives you an opportunity to ride this trend, So if you get a big one here at the end, something like this, then you're going to have this one continue to the upside. But it can be extended here and be more sideways for a couple of years before you push higher. Hopefully you'll still be trading at that time. Okay, so that is the NASDAQ, similar to the rest. Let's go to the 4 hours, see what the next immediate move is. NASDAQ, you can see the NASDAQ is already pulled back and is already on the upside. So the Dow and the S&P 500 should also follow. So this one has happened with the NASDAQ, a 3-wave pullback, broken out of that structure. This was another entry point, should continue higher like that. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this piece. Okay, so that is how we're looking at this one. 1, 2, 3. I showed this last week. You are within that diagonal. We still want this diagonal to keep pushing higher to the top of the boundary. All right, so that is the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and the Dow. Let's look at the UK 100 now. UK 100. What do we expect? Expect this to just get a slight push to the upside, because eventually this is a 3-wave move and will probably come down here. So the UK, I'm not really interested in the buy here because that move to the upside will not go all the way. Doesn't look like it's going to go all the way. It looks like it's a 3-wave pullback and we're going to come down. So be careful when you look at the UK 100. It's a clear 3-wave pullback, should push lower. The DAX also reaching that equal legs, 1, 2, 3, pushing higher. Should get a pullback as well here, but it's going to push a little bit higher. But at some point we should get a pullback here on the DAX. Let's have a look here. You already have divergence. Here it's making higher highs. The indicator is starting to make lower highs rather. Starting to make lower highs. So let's see, we've got this as 3-wave move to the upside here. Let's go to the daily, see the higher degree structure. And that's what we're seeing here. So we already have this as a 1, 2. This can actually push just up to this level and then we come down. Now when you look at this is a 3 running flat there. So it's 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 back, 1, 2, 3 up. That's why I'm expecting just a slight push to the upside before this one makes a move to the downside. Okay, so expect continuation to the upside. It's tricky and very risky to buy at current levels. That is the DAX. Nifty, not Nifty, rather Nikkei. Nikkei is clear. You've got a 3-wave move, also a running flat there. A 3-wave move, same as you saw on the DAX, and a 3-wave move to the upside. So that is a WXY structure that we expect to go to the upside. Okay, so that is the Nikkei, and we're expecting it to continue to the upside. Just a bit of a move to the upside. Keep track of that one. So the indices are clear and what we're expecting there. So Nifty, we've already made this running flat here. We're continuing to the upside. We looked at this as a running flat after the 5-wave move to the upside. We are now in this up move here, pullback here, corrective structure here. We should continue higher and break the top. I'm expecting this to break the top. I don't really expect it to make a flat here because this is quite impulsive. I'm expecting it to continue from current levels to make a correction and push higher. That is the Nifty. All right, so now let's go into the majors, the US dollar pairs. Let's look at the Euro US dollar. Now, Euro US dollar, let's have a look at it from the daily. Euro US dollar, we are within this diagonal. We're still looking at this as a diagonal, and we looked at that to have ended, that diagonal to have ended with this impulsive move. We need to track this move now. It looks like this move to the upside may not be what we are looking for. So we are getting a move to the downside here. I'm expecting this is going to pull back. If we were going to continue to the upside, we should get this as a coming down as a three-wave move. Then we will look for it to go up. Remember, I said this can be quite a slow move. It can do this and do this again, because this is supposed to be a correction for this move. It can be that move, or it can even do this, that before coming down. I'm out of space there. I'll just go full screen, but it's gonna get out of the structure there. So this could be the structure that we're looking at on Euro US dollar. Will take time, will be corrective, will be slow, because it's a correction anyway. But the move that we're looking for is the big move after the correction. Is this the move? Let's see here on the 4 hour what's going to happen here. This pullback looks a little bit sharp, so let's have a look what we're going to expect. Let's go to the 4 hour. It is a three-wave pullback. 1, 2, 3. Expect another pullback here. Maybe another one like this. But we should still be in the corrective structure. It's not coming down aggressively, so this can do a structure like this. So we need to wait to see what structure we're going to get, unless we get a sell setup. A sell setup will be this. This will be a sell setup if we get a corrective structure, and then we'll be looking for this to come down. Okay, so unless we get that, we'll be looking for this to come back here and push higher. That is Euro US dollar, Pound US dollar. Pound US dollar also coming down in 3 waves. The pound pests, are they going to continue higher? So we've got the 3-wave pullback. Could do that and get a running, a regular flat or any kind of corrective structure before continuing with the move to the upside. So also here we're waiting for this structure to build. We can only see a 3-wave move, which does not mean anything at this stage. 3-wave pullback, we'll expect this to do that. Push slightly higher from current levels, or do that and upside. So that will depend on whether this is all the corrective structure. But what we get and expect here, if we get this move here, a pulsing move and a correction, you can take it to the upside. That is pound US dollar, not a clear structure there. We need to wait for 2 things: a pulsing move indicating back up here, or a corrective move indicating a sell setup. For now, the trend is still to the upside. Overall trend is still to the upside. So even if we're coming down here, I'm still expecting a move to the upside. Exactly the same way it corrected here. Here, when it corrected, I expected that it was just going to give us a 3-wave move and push higher. But instead, it made a double. 3 moves to the downside, 3 moves to the downside, and this big one in the middle, making a double correction. That's why we got this move to the upside. But I didn't expect this one, so that's why this move to the upside I missed. Okay, on all the pound pairs. As much as we knew that it was going to go up, the reason why we missed this, I expected this to go lower than that and then push higher. So it went down before we could actually get that one, and it was too quick for us. So it went like this. 3-wave move, and then a push to the upside. So here you've got a 3-wave move. Is it going to make a double again and give us another one before we go up? So we need to keep a track of this. That's why I'm emphasizing on the waiting and for confirmation in this area. All right, so that is pound US dollar chief. Before we go to US dollar chief, let's do euro US dollar, not euro US dollar CAD. Now euro US dollar CAD. If you see my analysis, I expected a reversal from current levels, and it's coming down here with what we like to call a V pattern, and that is the expectation to the upside, a 3-wave move. And when it does this, it's showing me that this can potentially reverse, even if it gives us a 3-wave pullback. Let's go to the daily and see potentially what it can also do here. So this can also continue lower here to come and make this structure. It can make 1, 1, 2, 3, and then upside. 1, 2, 3, making a complex correction. If we reverse from after taking the low here, we can get this structure and then come back down. Okay, then that is the structure what are we looking at. For now, we're not looking at any trade. We don't have direction for this. We are expecting a reversal at any point for this. We're expecting this to take this and possibly reverse from here. Then we'll track this. Okay, but if it does that, then that means that this is now starting to become a whole corrective structure and you're going to get another big move to the upside. That means we will not be ready to come down just as yet. So we still need to track that. US dollar chief, on the daily, we've got a setup for downside. Now, if this is the setup for downside, this is Euro US dollar. I'm trying to do US dollar chief here. Now, we're looking at this. We have a sell setup here, which we took here. Okay, this is a three-wave pullback. Now we're in a critical area now where we need to decide, okay, we've got a three-wave pullback. Is this the start of the impulse of the new move? If this starts doing this and we push higher, what does this mean for the euro? So that means for the euro, this pullback that you have on the euro is going to do this and lower. So that means euro is not going to give us that upside. But if this is only a pullback at current levels and we continue lower, then the euro is going to give us the structure that we're looking for. But the likely one to happen is this one. When you start seeing corrective structures here, expect the euro to go lower. Because you can actually trade US dollar chief and euro US dollar interchangeably just by looking at the correlations. Let's see how this plays out. A break out of this three-wave pullback will mean more upside. Or even do this. A deeper corrective structure, and then you get this. Okay, so expect that. So that will still take time. Now let's look at Audi US dollar. Audi US dollar, we're looking at this one as a regular flat. We've already made a move to the downside. On the 1 hour or the 4 hour, expect a correction and then a move lower. If you look at the 4 hour, you should see that clearly. We're already starting to come down with this. As much as it's not strong, if you get a decent corrective structure, you take it down. You've got a three-way move here, and it's coming down. Now, what you need here, this is a W, this is a X. Not really. So this is actually like this. Let's see what the structure is here. I don't really like much this one as an expanding flat because this looks pretty impulsive, but this could have been a three-wave move here. We're coming down with this structure. I want this correction, a decent size correction like that, then I'll take it down. Otherwise, I won't take it down without a corrective structure like that. I want a corrective structure that size for downside. New Zealand US dollar has already is looking more impulsive than Audi US dollar. So this one has already started the move to the downside after the three-wave move. We've got this impulse. Any pullback here on the 1 hour, you take the trade to the downside. Minimum target this level here. That is New Zealand US dollar. US dollar ZAR. US dollar ZAR, expect continuation to the downside. You can see you have a clear three-wave pullback. Let me make this on the full screen here. A clear three-wave pullback showing you continuation to the downside. 1, 2, 3. You already have a pulsing move for downside. Any correction here, we're continuing lower on US dollar ZAR. Now let's look at the yen pairs. Yen pairs, starting with the pound yen. We're still going to do the pound pairs. Pound yen has made a three-wave move, showing you that this may still push to the upside. This three-wave move is not complete. Looks like we're still going to push a little bit lower here to complete the three-wave move. When this is complete, we should push higher. Just go one higher on pound yen. And what we're expecting here, I'm expecting pound yen to keep going higher back to this level. Okay, so it made a three-wave move to the upside and a three-wave move back, and then we are looking for this to be a pulsing move to the upside. So what do I mean by 3 up, 3 back here? If you look at this structure, you can go and study this. You can go and study this, and this is why what I mean by 3 up. If you follow the yellow, you'll see the 3 waves. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you're looking for this to the upside. I wanted this to come and break lower here. We had over 900 pips traded from this level to this level. And you'll see all those trades I showed you during this webinars. Okay, US dollar yen. Now US dollar yen is making a familiar structure to what happened with oil a couple of weeks back. Let's first look at this. You see here, you've got a three-wave pullback and a push to the upside. You get a corrective structure showing you upside. So US dollar JPY can come and do this here, can break this top here, can come back for one before going up. Either this or it can just go up straight. Now, we had this move here. I had a trade here. My expectation was that it was just going to make this and it was just going to go like that. But as you can see, it made a 3 down, a 3 back, and a double. That's why we're going up at this level. Now I'm expecting this one to give us a deeper corrective structure here and continue to the upside. Okay, now US dollar JPY, even this continuation to the upside, we should just be getting this up to this level, 1, 2, 3, and then we start reversing from there. Okay, so now let's run through the rest of the yen pairs. So you'll see that all the yen pairs have made three-wave moves, and we are now looking for them to reverse. Starting with the euro yen, 1, 2, 3. I'm expecting this to come down, but this is coming down a little bit slower than I expected. It's not impulsive. It's making this three-wave move. So if it does not give you this, then it's not going to come down. This is what you want for this to come down, back to this level. All of them have made these three-wave pullbacks. So we're expecting this to continue lower. Okay, so that is euro yen, CHF yen. You see CHF yen is even more stronger and more impulsive after the three-wave pullback. Only this one is not a zigzag like euro yen. It is a regular flat, or rather an expanding flat. We started with a move to the downside. Expect this one to correct and then downside. Okay, so that is CHF yen. AUD, the same three-wave move, but the three-wave move on AUD looks incomplete. That's why you see this one making this. But when you look at the structure, it's still going to continue lower. So this can actually come back down to this level and form another structure like this one, following the rest of the yen pairs. So it can be forming its own structure, different to the rest of the yen pairs, but they must be going in the same direction. You've got 3 down, can start giving you a corrective structure here for downside. That is AUD yen. New Zealand, the move is already downside and strong. After the break of the top, we're already making a move to the downside. It's coming in 3 waves. Are we going to get a pullback here? And then a move to the downside. That's how we're looking at the yen pairs. I see there's a question on the chat box. Let me read it. Somebody wants me to look at US dollar TRY, maybe towards the end of the webinar, if we still have time. So, or offline, we can also do it offline. Okay, so that is New Zealand yen. Expect continuation to the downside on all the yen pairs. CAD. Now CAD keeps pushing higher and higher, and you can see that this is eventually gonna come down, even if it's a pullback like that. You've got a 3-wave pullback. As I said, all the yen pairs have made these 3-wave pullbacks. CAD yen may still make one more up, but eventually this will definitely come down. RSI is already showing you downside. As much as this is going up, on the RSI you already have divergence. It's already making a down move. It's already going down. It's going up here, but we've been going down from the 14th of October on the RSI. The trend has already been down. So the start of this trend was the start of the downtrend. So this move should end with a move like that. 1, 2, 3, you should expect a move to the downside. You should at some point here get a pulsing move and an entry point to the downside. This move won't go forever. That's CAD-EN. All right, silver and gold. I don't need to talk any more about this. You saw this, how I looked at this in the beginning with during the trade recaps. This is the expectation. 3-wave move to the downside, a 3-wave move back, and you expect another 3-wave move down on silver. So downside on silver, WXY. You saw the relationship between that structure, the fractals that I showed in the beginning, and this is what I'm expecting. Only then we should get a move to the downside. Okay, so silver should come around these levels. I will project the exact levels that I expect silver to come down to before any move to the upside. Next week, you'll see that. Okay, so that is silver and gold. Now gold is also the same structures, just slightly different. You've got 1, 2, 3. You've got 1, 2. This looks like it's going to make this structure here. It's going to come down. It's coming down here. It can do this, and we get gold to give us another 3-wave structure before we get this. That will also be a WXY structure. Where are we now? With gold, we've made this pulsing move here. Expect correction for downside. Where are we with silver? We've made a pulsing move. Here's a pulsing move. Here's a pulsing move. Take it down. That is silver and gold. Now let's wrap up the pound pairs. Pound chief, similar to pound US dollar. We have made this is a pulsing move, guys. This is a spike up and a spike back. So that's a pulsing move up and a pulsing move back. Now, the expectation here is that this is a 3 up, 3 back. It can make another 3 up, make a move down, and a move to the upside. So this will be a corrective structure that makes an A, B, C structure before pushing higher. Now, this can do like Bitcoin, only the inverse of that, can push higher, break the previous high with divergence, and then come down. Okay, so let's see how that plays out. We'll be watching this corrective structure. As you can see, it's still premature, still not ready yet. We'll be watching it. Okay, so that is a pound chief, pound Audi. Pound Audi has made a 3-wave move already. See a regular flat there? This is a 3-wave move. See a move down here, 3 up, 3 up, 1 can make this one here, and then a move to the upside. So this can be a pullback in 3 waves and a push higher, break the top with divergence, and then reverse. So you need to wait with the pound pairs. Be patient with these structures to build. You can't do anything without those structures. Pound New Zealand, the same 3 waves, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, showing that this may make another 3-wave move to the downside before pushing higher. So we can still do this here. This is a 1, this is a 2, this is a 3, and then a move to the downside. Let's watch this. That is pound New Zealand. All the pound pairs, you can see the structure is the same. At the end, we're waiting for this to fill up here before we go get a move to the upside. CAD, 3 back. Got 1, 2, 3 here. Are we going to get another one here for another move to the downside, making a double? If we're going to get a move to the upside, let's see. We are waiting for these structures to build. 3-wave move does not mean anything at this stage. We need to get another 3-wave move. That will give us an indication of where we are going. That is pound CAD, euro pound. Now euro pound is pulling back. So if we're expecting, we're doing the euros now. If we're expecting the pound pairs to continue higher, at least even if it's for 1 more up, then euro pound should go 1 down before pushing higher. But it should complete this corrective structure. Now let's look at this corrective structure on the 4-hour. You'll see that it looks like, let's get a red, 1, show you this corrective structure. It's a move up, 1, 2, 3, can make one here and then down. So that will be a three-wave structure, a three-wave pullback, and then move down, possibly with divergence, and then we get a move to the upside. Okay, so that is euro pound. Let's run through the rest of the euros, euro pairs. Now EUROCHF, this is a pulsing move to the downside. This is correcting here. It should come back down. This will not go on forever. Even if it takes the top again, it should come back down. And that downside can even be a corrective structure for one more up. Okay, so that is EUROCHF. Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand, this move, I was looking at it like this. 1, 2, 3, and I expected that we're going to have a pulsing move to continue higher. But this move currently is not going impulsively, it's going in three waves. You'll see it in the lower time frame. 1, 2, 3, and that can continue lower. This will continue lower. Let's go to the 1 hour, you'll see what I'm talking about. 1 hour. This is not going up, it's making a three-wave move. So we're already getting a pulsing move here. We can get this correcting and then a move to the downside. So it's going to continue lower. Euro New Zealand. Euro AUD. Euro AUD, you can see it's already made a three-wave pullback and a pulsing move down. 1, 2, 3. It's already made a pulsing move down here. We should get a pullback here and a continuation to the downside before a move to the upside. That's Euro AUD. EUROCAD. Let's get this on the higher time frame. So EUROCAD on the daily, you see that it has made this regular flat here. That's why we're coming down with this move. We should come break the low here. Let's see if we've got divergence here. Okay, we already have divergence. So this one, the RSI has been making higher, lower highs, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. Okay, now it's making lower lows here, lower lows here. This should come back, give us one more low, while this make a new higher low for more upside. But we're not just looking at divergence, we're looking at the structure, and here's the structure. We want this to come down into the blue box. We had been in the blue box, but like Bitcoin, let me just mark the blue box here. But like Bitcoin structure that you saw in the beginning, this one can just, after this regular flat, break into the blue box and reverse. In any case, we've been waiting for this reversal. 1, 2, 3, and then we're looking for this to reverse. So it's not just about divergence without the structure and the sequence. There must be a sequence. So we're looking for this to come down into the blue box and push higher. Okay, so that is a EUROCAD. So EUROCAD, let's run through some of the cross pairs. AUDJPY. It's coming up correctively here. Should come to the top, one down, and a move to the upside. That is on the daily. Let's go 4 hour. So this is a move to the upside. This is a move back. This is correcting with this move. Should give us this. So eventually you're going to get this and then that. For now, just focus on getting this to break to the downside. Track this, it will break to the downside and you'll get a trade. If it breaks the top here even better, then you get this trade. Just focus on this one. It's a 3 up, it's a 3 back. It's making another 3 to the upside. Now, if you look at this, you see that you've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and it's making the last 3 here. One more up, and then you break to the downside. Not that big. Not that big. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Only back to this level. So this will be the trade that you're looking for. That's AUDJPY, AUD New Zealand. AUD New Zealand has made 3 back, 3 up. This move to the downside. Looks like it's going to make this structure here. Can make another 3 here, same as it has here. Deleted the wrong line, so this should be 3 down, 3 back, 3 down, and then continuation to the upside. So here you continue to the upside, WXY, and then up. That is Audi New Zealand CADJPY. This is 3 up, this is a 3 move to the upside. We got a flat in the middle. Looks like it's making another 3 up. Continue to the upside up to this level, WXY, and you've got, don't ignore this cross pairs, guys. I know I'm going through them quickly, but they are very nice trades here, and they are clearer. You get up here, and then you're gonna get a move to the downside. That's CADJPY, Audi CAD. Obviously, with the CAD strong, currently you're expecting this one to come down, possibly to break the low here and make the structure that's similar to the one on US dollar CAD that can do this. Then there will be 1, 2, 3 up, and then continue lower. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 down, 1, 2, 3 down. That's the correct structure. It's a continuation pattern. It's the continuation pattern. Let me show you something here. Show you something on this structure. Now watch this. It's 3 up, 3 back, 3 up. What happens after that? You drop. This you can't see this pullback. You can't see the 3 waves here, but let's leave that one for now. So we drop 1, 2, 3 up, expanding flat. What happens after that? We drop 1, 2, 3 up. You can call this one a zigzag. What happens after that? We drop. Now again here, you're expecting 1, 2. Even if this is going to make a move here, or if it's going to reverse here, it's still a 3 wave back. What are you going to expect? A drop before going up. So that's what we're looking at on Audi CAD. New Zealand CAD. Now New Zealand CAD, I'm expecting this. Every person that has attended my course knows this pair and what we're looking for on the long term. Because this is a good example of how to trade charts without impulsive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3 back. We're coming down here, break the low here with divergence, and I'm expecting a big move to the upside. Okay, so we'll look at this someday, why we're expecting this big move to the upside. So I'm expecting this to break the low here and push higher. Okay, so you can see that this move has already started as far as the RSI is concerned. We already started the move to the upside. Even if this is still going to make a new low, this one should make a new higher low. Okay. Right, so that is New Zealand CAD, New Zealand CHF. New Zealand CHF, 1, 2, 3, we should get a move to the downside. Take it down. That is your structure. You got that, and it moved down. You got this, expect this to the downside. After that, you should get a move to the upside. It's a lot of clear structures on the market currently. Okay, so even if we get this to the downside here, we're still gonna push higher. And lastly, oil. Let's look on the daily. Oil. This is a structure that we looked at last week. 1, 2, 3 has completed. Now you're looking for this. Will it do this and retest the top before coming down and then move to the upside? Let me show you why I'm looking at it like that. Let's use different colors so you can see it clearly. 1, started from the smaller structure. You've got that, you've got 1, you've got 2, you've got 3. Let's use red. You've got 1, 2, and the 3. Let's use a different color. We can use yellow now. You got 1, you got 2, you've got 3. That takes the top. And lastly, I'm going to use white now. You've got 1, 1, 2, 3. You got that. And another one, if you want it, make it even more exciting. That's the move. That's the move. How do we label this? That becomes very easy. A. Let's use what? Label that. Those who like adding letters a lot. A, B, C. Yellow degree, A, B, C. Red degree, A, B, C. Purple degree, A, B, and C. Lower degree than that, didn't show you, but that is a, we're gonna use blue for that one. There's this structure also, 1, 2, 3, but this is a W, X, Y structure. There's a difference why we label some A, B, C, and why we label some double X, Y. It's a clear difference with that. So now we're expecting this to give us the C in the purple C. That is what we're looking at in oil. You can study the structure and keep it. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to drop the like and a subscribe button. Next time you'll get a notification when I upload the video. Have a great week. Good luck trading. Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.